guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
And we're live.
We are here with the one, the only internet renegade and crypto genius, John McAfee. It's been a long while in setting this up, but we managed to finally make it all come together for Halloween. On Halloween. You know, this guy has been in the public eye for as long as I can remember being on the internet. And beyond that, we have seen him go up against some of the worst people on the planet on several occasions and stand strong. So I'd like to welcome him, and then we'll move right into the questions and get to it.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on. I mean, it's rare that people want me to come on anymore. It's usually Janice. And by the way, it was Janice that did this to my face just before the interview. So no, if you're wondering, people, why, maybe you can't even see my face, can they? Doesn't fucking matter anyway. So I'm sitting here with half my face in blood and gore. It's Halloween where I am, and there's strict traditions of following, the rituals of Halloween, making as much gore as possible. So I had this done to my face, took an hour and a half. Then I had this interview, and we're leaving right after the interview to go and do whatever people do here on Halloween. I hope it's safe. And so here I am. Up with it. My apologies.
I don't think, it is Halloween, and to be honest, I think this is a perfect way to celebrate together and help get the word out. So yeah, we're perfect. Fine for you to come in full costume. I wish that this one came off.
It does, you know.
Once.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you. We can hear you fine. Tyler, do you want to start right in on the questions, and we can kind of move through them here?
Yeah, sure. Actually,
easy. I mean, before we went live, we were discussing Bangkok prostitutes. I don't know why we couldn't continue that, but maybe the sensitivities of your audience. So that's fine. Let's move on to, more lighthearted questions. All right.
Does it get more light?
I'll give you a good first question that I think is a good opener. Given everything that's happening with freedom of the press, with Julian Assange being put in prison, and Max Blumenthal recently being arrested as well, what are your thoughts on what's going on with freedom of the press? And since you are running for president, what would you change about the U.S.?
All right. So we talk about freedom of the press. I mean, the press is free. It is free to say exactly what our government wants them to say. I mean, not the U.S. government, Congress, President, Senate. No. The real government, the leaders and powers behind the two parties that are dividing America in half. Let me move on to the second question, because that may help us with this question. If you here in the studio and the people listening to this, any of you, if any of you believe I stand a rat's chance in hell of ever being president, then stop smoking rainbows, or move out of your mother's basement because you're missing reality. I can't ever be president. I'm not going to have a first stay, so I'm not going to have a policy. My viewpoint is this. It does not matter who the president is. The president's elected by the people for 4 years, 8 maybe. And the people who are managing this country have been there for 30 or 40 years, and they're the covert agencies. And when a president sits in that Oval Office, 1,000 strings are attached to that president.
Yep. I agree with that, John.
They become puppet. But that's the reality. I mean, the secret agencies or covert agencies run this country. Think about it. The president sits down, everybody briefs him, but what? Before he even comes, they're going, well, got another president. His name is Donald Trump. I don't know much about him. Who wants to handle it, right? Mr. President, I'm with the CIA. As you know, there are many things we just cannot tell you because you, sir, just don't have a need to know in terms of running this country. You have to trust on this. This is the reality.
So, I mean, do you...
I may have to cut this short because I just ran out of tequila. No, Janice is getting more. Okay, we're in luck.
Okay. No. There was an emergency moment there for a minute.
Well, it would be an emergency if I can't get more fucking tequila. All right. It's late at night where I am, and it's party fucking time. And so I would like to combine that party time with my work. So it would have been a catastrophe had not Janice said, yes, there's more. But continue.
There's more tequila. I don't know. Like, what do you think the best ways to change that? You know, once we come to the ideas that this is the way that they are, you know, there's people that are really pulling the strings, that are really in charge, right? That's why the world is as shitty as it is. But then where do we take the next step? What do we do to change it, right? To make it so that it's not that shitty anymore. I think that would be my question. What would you suggest, you know, the first couple of steps? Not if it's like a win, we do this and, you know, everything's changed tomorrow. But if you could step in and say, I would do this one thing, I would change this one thing to start moving in that direction, what would it be?
Here is the problem with trying to wake people up, all right? The resistance is, but what will we do? Let me give you a metaphor, if I may. I'll make it as simple as I possibly can. You're in a crowded movie theater, and the movie is so enthralling that everybody is sucked into it, and no one's paying attention except for you. And you see a fire in the back. No one's paying attention. Do you need a fucking plan, people? No. What do? Wake up. There's a fire. Wake up, there's a fire. And everybody wakes everybody up. You don't need a plan. Where are the fucking exits? We leave. Then let's figure out where are our cars and did we leave our purses behind and all the trivial shit that you are now worrying about after you see the truth. But no one wants to see the full truth because you people are involved in that truth. Your actions and your choices. I mean, you are that truth along with the fucking nightmare and the cage made for slaves, which is so luxurious that you don't know you're a slave. So don't ask me how. Ask yourself, what am I going to do? Don't look to me. Don't look to anybody because your life, my friends, are unique. Every one. Completely unique needs, desires, and hopes, and dreams, and trajectories. For fuck's sake, you will know what to do with your life when you've woken the fuck up. You don't need to plan. There's no plan, people. 400 million diverse people trying to make a plan that will satisfy all. No. Drop that childish shit. No. Just wake up. Look at your life, lives of your children and your grandchildren, and fucking do something. I'm sorry, I got too deep, didn't I? Oh, let's go back to Bangkok.
That's where it needed to go. You know, so
You want to go back to Bangkok whores? I got lots of stories.
well, no, that's it needed to work and the words that needed to get out to the public. You know, it's something that we get bombarded with constantly. What should I do? What should I do? When should I do it? How should I do it? Like now, stand the fuck up right now. Right?
Yes.
So there's
you're in bed sleeping and saying, would you help me put on my trousers? No, just wake the fuck up. You know how to get dressed. Stop deluding yourselves. That's the only fucking thing you need to do. I mean, but what do we do? Stop lying to yourself is what we do, people.
It's all built on those same set of lies. They recycle them. They use them over and over and over again. Every generation, they recycle the same lies, spin the same confusion. It's important to step back and be able to see it. But then once you see it, you're normally the only one that does. You know, you seem like the crazy person when you're screaming, "Run, get the fuck out of here," and nobody even smells the smoke yet.
No, it's crazy because you look at. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I interrupt this program to bring you a 30-second tutorial on how to do tequila shots. In one hand, you have tequila. The other, you have salt between thumb and forefinger. Can you see that? Maybe not. A slice of lime. People do the tequila, lime, salt. No, fuck no. Salt first, then lime, then tequila. No wonder nobody likes tequila. Salt, tequila. And a bite of that fucking lime.
Part that gets you.
There you have it.
I really wish we would have planned a little bit different from this, and I would have gotten a bottle of tequila, and we could have gotten into some real shit. But someday we'll get.
I'm sorry, my friend, but you can't get into real shit with tequila, nor even with cocaine, nor even with heroin. You've got to go to the Chinese research chemicals. I have experience in this. You have to trust me.
Oh,
Well,
cathinoids, yeah, for sure.
That we wanted to talk to you about, because you do have a lot of experience with psychedelics, with mind-altering drugs, straight up drugs. You know, what do you see the changes that need to be made in the drug culture, the drug war, all of that? Do you think everything needs to be legalized?
Let me ask you, and then I will rudely answer for you. Please apologize. Now, let me ask you, what is freedom? Well, is not freedom the total ownership of your body and your mind to put into either whatever you choose, to do with either whatever you choose, providing you do not violate another human's right to do the same? Well, fuck me, it's a big world. It is not hard to follow that. So, where was I going with this? What was the fucking question?
Do you believe that all drugs should be legalized? Yeah.
Duh. Fuck no. It's your body. It's your fucking mind. Put into it or take out from it or remove from it if you want to shorten your nose or stab a hole in your ear. It's your fucking body. If you're 18 years old, or give me a fucking year, 21, 25, give me a fucking year. After that year, it's still now your body, and do with it whatever you fucking want, including, if you choose, and God knows why people take this path, jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. That's your fucking So no, as a libertarian, as a human being, for fuck's sake, do you feel free? Huh? You cannot. By the way, laws now from the FBI say that you are an extremist group and therefore a potential terrorist organization if you have extremist views like believing that the U.S. government would use deception, lies, and disinformation in order to get its goal. That is now an extremist thought. Do you understand, people?
That's insanity considering how many that's insanity considering how many false flags they've done over the years from Iraq to
Yes, but please God, check it out. I'm not just throwing shit out. Things sticking.
Yeah.
It's the horror of my life. I can't forget anything. And this is an actual fact. So
yeah, it is a fact.
Pretty soon, thought crime monitors will be on your social media. They won't see you actually type the words. I believe our government is lying to us, but they will somehow infer from your words that you believe the government's lying to you. And you're going to go to jail. And if you think that I am crazy and paranoid, please God, check these facts out.
Well, and I mean, it goes beyond that. I mean, one of the reasons you've been a target for so long is that you've got personal knowledge, personal information dealing with those groups. You know, this isn't coming out of nowhere. And one of the reasons that they've been, you know, that you've been a target to some of the most horrible people on the fucking planet.
Yes. And Janice and I have seen those people face to face. And please, Janice, are you here? Please come and sit in, Junior. Please, Janice, I'm asking you. These gentlemen appear to be sincere. I doubted it. However, it's the first glimmer of possible sincerity. And by the way, Janice is also going to the Halloween party. So now, these gentlemen seem sincere. I give it a 3% chance of being true. But we owe them that 3%. Now, you ask, we've seen some horrible people after us.
Well, I mean, we definitely.
I'm going to tell you some stories that you're not going to hear just randomly on the fucking street. So in 2013, yes, in Portland, yes. In September, at 2:00 in the morning, fake police officers on motorcycles pulled up in front of our condo, followed by some SUVs, black SUVs, followed by a fucking garbage truck, all of which stopped at the entrance to
our apartment, yes.
To our apartment.
To the parking garage.
To the parking, right there. I was watching for it because I knew it was coming. Janice did not. And we'd seen all kinds of freaky shit happen before.
Well, just a little background. They had been casing our apartment building for about a month before all of this happened. We were noticing people like just hanging out in front of the closed businesses that were right across the road, or they'd hang out at the pizza shop across the street or across the intersection from our apartment.
But not order pizza or anything.
For hours, though. They'd sit there for hours. So it was just not out of the blue. But what happened that night was we were watching TV. We were binge watching Family Guy, and I saw this pickup truck pull up and to the stoplight. So it pulls up, the guy gets out, he's wearing the construction worker vest, and he's like diddling with the light pole.
This is after dark.
And this is at 11 o'clock at night. And so then he gets the flashlight and he flashes it straight down our road, because the way our apartment sat, we can watch all four the entire intersection, because our apartment was right on the corner on the 4th floor. Yes. So we could see all directions. Well. Yes, he did. And so they flashed the flashlight 4 times, and then I pointed it out to John, and then he saw it, and they flashed the flashlight again. And so, of course, to him,
4 times.
That signaled something to him.
Listen, trust me, I know what that signal is. Okay, so I'm up, but at 2 a.m, I come running in, grab Janice and said, now we're leaving.
Yeah. He was freaked out. It scared the shit
Now
out of me.
we're leaving. We ran down the stairs to the elevator, went into the basement where the parking garage was, locked off, all of the doors locked, impenetrable, cannot get out. So first thing I did is we're going to hide it in the trash bin. So I opened the trash bin, and Janice goes, I am not getting in there. Okay.
It smelled. It smelled really bad.
So when we left, then the light's always on in the trash room in case you want to come down at 3 a.m, throw trash. I turned the light off. Then it was one of these multi-level parking garages. We climbed up to the second level and hid under a car and waited for no more than 10 minutes. And we heard people coming in through the front. Pardon?
Well, then the lights went off.
Right. And also the lights were off downstairs. We were in the car, no movement, lights are off.
Well,
they go on by movement.
Yes, they're motion detected lights. So they were on, and we're running back and forth, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, he's fucking lost his shit. He hasn't slept in a few days, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna go with it. But I was like worried because we have all these cameras there, and I'm like, what are they gonna say to us in the morning? Like, we're gonna get kicked out of our apartment when they say, "What are you guys doing running around at 2 in the morning in the parking garage?"
I'm thinking once front of the car. I'm thinking we'll survive this night. Yeah. That's my thoughts, right? I went to sleep later, but anyway.
Yeah. So once we got hidden underneath the car, like he said, the lights, they're motion detected, so they stayed on, and we were sitting.
They went off.
Yeah. They went off, and then maybe about 10 minutes after that, the lights came on, and they stayed on all night.
All night. And I could hear the breathing and shuffling. Yeah. Now, the fact that I had turned the light off in the garbage room is what saved our sorry asses, because they know. I mean, they had been casing this apartment for months. And so there are police officers down there looking at the trash bin. It's closed. The lights are off, which is what a normal person would do. Turn the lights off and hide in here.
Yes.
Right? So they're focused on that. We're 25 feet from them. I'm hiding under a fucking car.
Which, all they had to do literally was
turn around
and just bend over. Not even all the way, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And they would have saw us.
They would have seen our legs.
But a lot of times guys are extremely uninspired.
Listen.
Mind that they're going to do something. They don't look up.
1 second.
That's true. It's very true. People always forget to look up.
You have to hear the rest of the story. Okay, so finally, after 2 hours, we're hiding there, and I'd gone to sleep a couple of times. Janice kept nudging me because I was snoring. Anyway.
Yes.
This is not new for me. Okay, believe me, this situation is pretty much my normal fucking life. So I'm sleeping when I get a chance.
Yeah, I was freaking out.
She was freaking
quietly.
out.
I was quietly.
She was freaking out. I was trying to sleep. So in any case, what happens is at 4 in the morning. Now that garbage truck that showed up at 1:45 in the morning idled outside for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was still sitting there.
Still sitting there.
So they
finally the gate rolls up. Now where'd they get the key for that shit? So there's somebody inside is in on it. The garbage truck comes in, picks up the unit with its forks, dumps it and compresses it, drives, but it doesn't drive off. It just drives outside, stops in the middle of the street, and waits for about 15 minutes, because you can hear this fucking diesel engine. That goddamn engine idled all night long. It annoyed me. It disrupted my sleep, which, trust me, the worst fucking thing you can do is disrupt my sleep. And it was disrupting my sleep. So then about 15 minutes later, we heard outside someone go, "Fuck!" They had clearly opened the gate. We ain't in there.
Yeah, they saw that we weren't in there.
We're not in there. And there's chaos now inside this apartment complex. People running downstairs, running upstairs. People come, our fucking neighbors at 6 o'clock in the morning come running down, jump into their truck. They've only been our neighbors for one week, and they're right across the hall where they can see through the peephole, and so they can make up whatever story they want according to what story is needed. Do you get this? So in any case, that's nothing compared to the shit that she and I have been through. So some night, if you want a real goddamn podcast, we'll spend a couple hours telling about our adventures. That was a minor adventure in my book.
And that's been, you know, when we call what, you know, when I introduced you as a renegade, you know, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, I mean, the fact that it's not uncommon to have a sweeper team roll through your neighborhood and you still make them somehow. It's amazing.
That is far more common than just Christmas wandering by on December 25th. No, much more common than that shit, all right? Christmas is rare combined to the number of times since Janice has been with me that we had to pack our shit and move at a second's goddamn notice, hot on our trails. I mean, one night, okay, this was, fuck me, was this after Portland?
Yeah, everything.
Okay, everything is after Portland. So we're trying to get away. So we go to this lodge in the mountains. People are looking at us kind of strange when we walk in. They put us in a building that was closed down. They just opened up that one room for us, a quarter of a mile back from the main hotel campus. So get back in here. Okay. So that night,
This was Mother's Day, by the way.
Pardon?
I remember this very well. This actually was the one thing that was not after Portland. When we say after Portland, it's after that event that he just told you about. So this actually happened before that event that he just told you about.
Before that event. So
and it was Mother's Day, and they put us, so our security was gone. Red flag number one, because they were just gone.
They were gone. They had excuses and couldn't come.
And so
right off the bat, I'm in red zone. Okay, so I'm going. However, if my security's gone, they're in on it anyway. So if they were here, they're not going to be able to help me. So it's me and Janice. We're only armed with a fucking .357 revolver. That's all we fucking have.
Because this guy said, "Oh, we'll be fine."
No.
Yeah, he said, "We'll be fine." Okay.
Yeah, we were fine.
Well, we did bring a shotgun, but we left it in the car.
Yeah, why? I was tired, man. They've been chasing our asses for it doesn't fucking matter.
Yes.
It doesn't fucking matter. So now we're here. So immediately my security all had excuses. We get to the hotel, they put us in a fucking room a quarter of a mile from the goddamn campus with nobody else. Nobody else.
Yeah, it was like one of those sort of kind of retreat places. So you had the rooms weren't like right on top of each other. So they put us right at near the golf course, so we could see from our balcony the golf course.
Yes.
And
okay, so it started like this.
Yes.
So I'm not stupid. I'm 70. I was 69 at that time. I'm not stupid. I've seen the world. I know what's coming. There's a raid coming. Okay. However, I'm still John fucking McAfee, and it's clearly a big raid. So it's enough people that they know who I am, and everybody thinks I am crazy and dangerous, and and unkillable, because after all of these fucking years and attempts, I'm still breathing. So everybody's spooked on their side. I know this. Now, I thought maybe 3 or 4 people would show up. How many people would you estimate were surrounding us?
At least 20.
At least 20 motherfuckers surrounding us. So now, I've got one goddamn pistol and a wife who's never shot anyone, not that I had. Or who's never been in this situation. And this is, I went to sleep again, did I not?
Well, not at first.
When I got in bed, I'm going, listen, until shit happens, I'm sleeping because I'm going to need my rest. So in any case, the first thing, they climb over the roof and somebody drops down on our balcony. Yeah. You saw the dude. Yes. I saw the dude. Okay. But he's by himself. And I could see the hesitation. The next thing you know, he jumps over the rail. Okay, we're on the 2nd floor. He's going, I'm by myself. No one else came. McAfee's probably seeing me. I'm a dead man. Gone. I get up. Well, I'm sorry. Woo! I'm sorry. I get up. We're in a Faraday cage. This is just a backdrop to make it look like we're ordinary people. So, so I just pulled the crazy card. All right. I get up, I grab the 357, I go to the front door, I open it wide. Come on, you motherfuckers! I'm tired of fucking waiting! Slam. That bought us an hour, right? Did it not? We didn't see shit for an hour. Meanwhile, I'm going, okay, so now it's 2 a.m. All right, and I know the numbers when the game has to stop. If you're cops, you raid people at 6 a.m. or 5. If you're criminals, you get the fuck out of Dodge at 2 or 3 because you can't be caught there. Do you understand? So I know these are not cops out there. Okay, so they got to leave here by 3. It's already 2:30. It's a possibility that they're not even going to come back. Well, they came back. I mean, because I really played the crazy, did I not?
Yeah, you played a good crazy.
I played the crazy card, waving the 350. Come on, please, God, who's first? Who's first? Please come here. Slammed the door shut. Well, nobody came, right? Because
they didn't want any.
I really am John McAfee, and I really am acting crazy. And he had what was clearly a nickel-plated 357 Magnum with 5 goddamn rounds. And everybody knows I'm the best fucking shot on this planet. And so everybody knows that whoever comes in the door first is dead. Not just that, the first 5 people through the fucking door. I promise you. Well, then after that, we're gone. But the enemy knowing, and I really am a good fucking shot and the quickest draw I've ever seen. And everybody knows this. I'll make a point to demonstrate it periodically. And they'll go, fuck me, you don't want to get in a gunfight with this dude. So I'm here totally outgunned. But I'm in a goddamn room and the lights are out and you got to come in somewhere. And people are going, what are my chances? Probably, 1 in 10 of surviving this shit. No one came in. They built around all night and fucking left.
Yeah.
But in the morning,
Oh, yeah, the morning. I'm sorry.
You could see all the footprints in the grass.
Jesus God, it had rained that night and there was footprints that were coming from every goddamn direction, mud and squish and all our
whoever
deck.
was on the roof, their foot pushed the gutters.
They pushed the gutters, they tore the gutters off.
Oh, wow.
Because when they climbed over the roof, they hit the gutter. But listen, even this is trivial for me. I mean, I knew I had the advantage. We had to win. We're indoors, and I know you're coming. And I'm armed with at least something that's going to kill a few of you, for sure. These guys are getting paid money. They're not coming after me because their wives and children are being held hostage. No, they're getting paid 20 grand. Go whack this guy, you get you 20 grand. And they're all saying, because I know this, I've heard it, it's not worth it. We're going to die. You say we have to go first. So say, well, we're going to die. We know we're going to die. It's not worth the money. And soon that's in everybody surrounding it going, it ain't worth the fucking money. Because one thing is certain, and I think Janice knows me well enough to know, that 5 people would die before she and I would get shot. And I think everybody coming in that room or wanting to come in knew the exact same thing. Now, who is going to come first when you're just getting paid money? Now, different story is if I've got your kids kidnapped inside. Well, fuck me, that don't work no more, does it? Right? But no, I'm just minding my fucking business and you're getting paid money. Not to whack me, by the way. You had to collect me alive, which is even harder. Do you understand why it was even scarier? You mean we have to get him alive? That ain't right. So no, they're getting paid. Janice and I, we're trying to survive. And I'm 68, and I promise you, if I'm trying to survive something, I will fucking survive it. This has been my life, people. Why? Because I speak what I see and nothing else. And if you do not like it, and nobody does, then I make nothing but enemies. And this has been my life. But for those of you listening, thinking, We just got an offer to whack McAfee, you know. Please be advised. Better be more than 5 of you.
Just tell
You
them,
might
look,
be paying in Bitcoin, right?
it's not worth
What's
it.
that?
It's not worth it.
I said they better be paying in Bitcoin because, you know, Bitcoin will go up in value.
All right. We have time for one more question. I've gone over time. Oh, hang on a second.
Yeah, I mean, I'll leave it up to one of the guys. I've kind of, you know, asked all of the questions so far. So I know there's a couple of things that they want to ask as well.
Yeah. You know, I always look forward to seeing you on the boat. What happened to the boat?
What boat? There's so many boats. Are you talking about the blockchain cruise?
Yeah.
The blockchain cruise. Yes?
No, we're
Yeah.
talking about the Freedom Boat.
Or the Freedom Boat.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is-
yeah. The last one, the one you were in the
Oh,
Bahamas.
the Freedom Boat.
Yeah.
Okay, the Freedom Boat. Well, okay, so 3 months ago, so here's the story. It's a trivial little story. We're in Cuba 3.5 months ago. We've been there for months. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I've been trying to help the Cuban people and the political regime. And Janice and I get called in and they say, the United States has demanded your return. We're not inclined to do so. However, you would do us a favor if you would leave our country within 72 hours. 72, was it? 72 hours, which we fucking did. Then we went for over half a week traveling to get to the Dominican Republic. When we got to the Dominican Republic, we were surrounded before we even entered through customs. We were surrounded by their internal special forces with automatic machine guns, and we were not treated kindly. 4 days later, we get out of jail, and I do not recommend Dominican Republic jails, by the way. We get out of jail. And they insist that they're going to deport us back to America. I said, well, I didn't come here from America. I came from Cuba. You want to deport me? Law says Cuba. And they go, no, sir, you have to go back to America. I whipped out my British passport and said, no, my wife and I are British. We're going to England. No, sir, have back to America. It was at this point that I knew that they had failed in Cuba. Keep in mind, this is the CIA on behalf of the IRS and the FBI. I mean, a powerful bunch of motherfuckers had arranged in the Dominican Republic to have me collected illegally because especially they can't come on my fucking boat until I enter the country. I had not entered the country until I was allowed to talk to customs and immigration, neither of which did they allow me to speak with. So they charged us with weapons violations. Well, the way it works, every time we pull into a port, like in the Bahamas, came to the Bahamas, we actually had 27 guns in. Anyway, we laid them all out, unchambered, and they take notes, give you a slip of paper and say, you can't take them off the boat. That's cool. In Cuba, the same thing, but they take the weapons and say, we'll give them back when you leave, meaning they don't want you with weapons on your boat. That's fine. And they gave us back the weapons. This is the way it is everywhere. We're coming into the Dominican Republic prepared to do exactly the same thing. We have guns out on the table, and instead of customs coming on with their paper going, okay, because in the Dominican Republic, they let you keep them. That's fine. Okay, you can't take them off the boat. We were stormed by special forces, a political organization. Got out of jail 4 days later, and I now see exactly what happened. God, this is the fucking CIA again. However, not being an idiot, I had hired 2 lawyers, and they were sitting with me with immigration saying, you have to go back to America. I said to the lawyers, because once I'm back there, it doesn't matter who made a goddamn mistake. I'm collected in the story. So I told my 2 lawyers, I said, you have to file a brief with the courts demanding that I have a court case before they deport me anywhere. I mean, that's my right, even as a non-fucking citizen. Plus, this is in the press now. The courts can't deny it. However, had it gone to court, since everybody had all these videos of what actually happened, I mean, the Dominican Republic, the government would fucking collapse. They illegally stormed my yacht did not allow me to enter the country and charge me with bringing weapons in. That would have come out, and whatever government was in power, the next one would be. So immediately things changed. And by the way, that was an interesting story. The lawyer said it's going to take 2 hours. And I go, because they're carrying Janice out now, or pushing her out already. I go, 2 hours? Fuck me. It's okay, you got it. I instantly I first of all ran to Janice and said, don't panic. Whatever's happening, it's under control. Come back because this is a fun story. So now, this is 3.5 months ago. So now, I go back, I fall over on my face like I've had a heart attack or a stroke. And I couldn't decide which. I chose stroke, thank God, because they actually had a doctor there to attend to me. And he was looking at me like, dude, you just don't look like someone who's had a fucking stroke, okay? So, but I played my part. So immediately I chose stroke because I wake up and I'd been talking to everybody before. I pretended not to I know anybody. And I scooted on my butt back against the wall, screaming. And now all of this shit. So the end result is what they have to do, take me to the hospital, which they did, right? And Janice was on her way to the plane. They had to bring her back. What happens if Mr. McAfee dies while in detainment in the Dominican Republic, and we send his wife, who here is his nurse, away? No, so Janice comes back. I'm in the hospital. And I'm just stalling for time. They keep coming and looking at me very skeptically, and I keep holding my chest and pretending not to know.
They keep wanting to run tests.
They kept wanting to run tests, which I knew.
To sign paperwork.
Yes, which I knew would show that there's nothing wrong with me. So I said, no. My lawyers come in smiling. They have filed the brief. It's been stamped by the court, ordered by the court. No one can deport me from the Dominican Republic until I get my day in court. Yes. The immigration guy, no more than 30 seconds later, comes running by going, we're sending you to England. You want to go to England? Right, yes, we're sending you to England. We then went from a jail cell with no glass windows and rusted iron fucking bars. And goddamn, fortunately, mine had mattresses. You ever had mattresses? We had fucking mattresses. I'm going, well, this ain't bad. Damn. Okay, I mean, I've been in third world jails many times, and mattresses are rare. But in any case, so now we went from that fucking jail cell within a few hours to the VIP area of the airport, where presidents and ambassadors come to be served, and guys dressed up, in formal gear, serving us tea and coffee and wine. Seriously. Janice was extraordinarily skeptical the whole time.
I thought they were, I don't know. I thought they were.
She thought they were fucking with us. They were going to rip us back and torture us and put us back in jail.
No, I thought they were going to, I didn't think they were sending us I thought they were going to send us to a country where we'd have to stop, maybe in America
and then we'd get picked up. Yeah. Okay. However, here's what I did. I mean, for the first time, they put me with an Army officer. He was a colonel. I go, God, thank God. And a reasonably young guy in his early 40s. I said, sir, I am so glad you are here because you're a colonel. And I know for a fact that you did not gain your rank by lying to people. He said, absolutely not. Good, thank God. I'm going to ask you a very serious question. Are we going straight to England, or are they going to drop us somewhere else? He said, well, just a minute. Okay, he came back and said, no, you're going straight to England. From that point, I was content. Janice was not. She didn't understand these.
When we got on the airplane.
She doesn't understand these nuances, okay? But in any case, that's just another thing. I mean, but this is our fucking life. I mean, we could talk all night, all week about this shit. Right?
Yeah, and I know we all have like 1,000 more questions, so we definitely have to ask you back someday. But I do have one practical question.
Here's the issue. You guys have been very polite and entertaining, enjoyable. So I'd be happy to come on any time, provided you can get to this woman.
Of course.
Yes.
do have one practical question. I know all the listeners that they might not understand it so well. Like you mentioned, you guys are in a Faraday cage, right? And
Yes.
I wonder, like, why are you in a Faraday cage? That's I think what our listeners want to know.
Well, we're
Okay.
here because
Yes, go ahead.
we're here because we it's just where we communicate from. It's our communications room. We come in here. It's safe for us to communicate. There's no signals that are getting out, so there's no way for anyone to electronically locate where we are.
And when we're not in the communications room, we have no smartphones or any electronic gear of any kind. I have a Bell & Ross fully mechanical watch here, nothing electronic on me. It's great. It's a great way to live. Why are you in the cage? You said why? I mean, good God, did I not just explain the past few months?
That they're trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is an electronic surveillance thing, and that is what I want, like, the listeners to understand too. That it's all
Yeah, no. So we're in the Faraday cage because we don't need to be found right now. The people after us are just a bit too powerful. I mean, we barely squeaked through the Dominican Republic. And had I not been through an identical situation in Guatemala 10 years earlier, I would not have known what to do. I would have been we would have been back in America in jail. But I go, you know what? This is really similar to that Guatemalan thing. We got out of that by doing this and this. And that's how we got out. But I can't be doing that every fucking day. I will slip up sometime. So for the past few months, we've been in a place where I promise you, you cannot find us. I do not give a shit how good of a hacker you are or what technologies you possess at the NSA or the CIA. You will not find me. And from here, I will run my campaign and whatever it is that I wish to talk to the world about. And
so your campaign, so John, your campaign is really just about getting out your thoughts. It's not, because earlier you said that you're not going to win. So you're just doing this for publicity purposes of trying to get a certain message across.
Well, I think that publicity is probably an improper word for waking people up. But if you wish to use that word, that's fine with me. But absolutely, you're totally correct.
Okay.
I think it's more exposing the idiocy, the whole thing. You know, that everything in it, the two-party system is so fake. He's kind of, mocking that entire system. Is kind of the way that
it has divided America right down.
Yeah, that's agreeable.
True. Yeah.
When you hear
it has torn America in half. Do you understand? Because all the power is in the parties. There's none in Congress or the Senate or the presidency. Why? Every fucking one of them are beholden to party. And without that party, they have no power.
Well, it's important to note that our founding fathers, they didn't want political parties.
No, of course not. In any case, my friends, I'm going to run. And I appreciate very much. And if you want me back again, call Janice. She will do it. All right?
Okay.
So, one more question for you. What is your...
Is he asking a question? I'm not sure. Is he trying to extend the interview? Okay, that's cool. What's the question?
What is your favorite song to play on the piano?
Listen, I can't play other people's music. I can't read music, so I can't help you there. I just make up a tune while I'm sitting down, and it goes away. I don't write it down. It's just gone. There's no favorite tune. I sit at the piano, and the piano and I communicate.
If any of our viewers get a chance, watch some of his videos playing the piano. Really amazing stuff. Something that was one of the number one reasons I started looking at your work at all was because I saw you playing the piano. So
really?
Just to look.
I've never taken lessons. I got a piano in my late 20s just for entertainment. I started banging on the keys, and that's all I've ever done. I know nothing about music, nothing about playing it. And people go, well, you're using a bad technique. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about techniques. I'm just banging keys. these keys are my friends. I know what they all sound like. I know how they all combine into harmonic or disharmonic things. But beyond that, I don't have a fucking clue. But thank you for the compliment.
It's just, I thought it was a very, music is a way that's really is a window into people's souls, and people express themselves through music. And I thought that's kind of our interview, and your playing,
yes.
playing songs are very similar.
You're absolutely correct. But what's tragic is so much with your generation that of everything is, how can I say this? Music or movies, art of some kind. But we have lost the true art, which is the art of words. Really, no one quotes Shakespeare anymore. Nobody. I mean, I've listened to the lyrics of many of the new songs. They don't quite match Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, in my humble opinion, but nevertheless, they're there. But communication used to be an art and the only entertainment there was for intelligent, educated people. There was no other entertainment. And to hear or not hear anymore. I mean, how many kids out there have actually read Edgar Allan Poe? I mean, it's not all about dark, dreary shit like Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, while I ponder the weekend weary over many quaint and curious volumes of forgotten lore, etc. Fuck that shit. No. And he had a mastery of words. He wrote a song called The Bells. It only had a few words. The main one was bells. And the refrain was stupendous. I mean, for the bells, 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 bells. For the tintinnabulation of the bells. Now, I had to look that word up. It's a real fucking word. Tintinnabulation means ringing of the bells. You don't have to even know what those fucking words mean to hear that he's singing to you through words. And great authors do this with rarity in a way that nothing else can. I mean, the ultimate to me is Shakespeare, right? Pick one, probably the greatest is Hamlet, but it's too fucking long. The other is from Macbeth. When Macbeth's wife dies and they says, "My lord, she is dead." He goes, "She would have died thereafter." But then he goes into this tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, while all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage and is seen no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, but signifying nothing. Now, those are words, okay, that evoke, if you're listening, an entire experience of life. I mean, there's an art form which we have lost, people. You'll probably
definitely agree with you, John.
It's got nothing to do with anything. I don't know why I'm saying it. Whoa. You drug me back into this by asking me.
I know. I meant to. It was 100% on purpose, but I knew at the end of the day, we got you quoting Shakespeare at the end of the interview, exactly where we wanted to be.
Okay, my friend. All right, I think we're done. Thank you so much.
All right.
For joining.
All right.
Bye.
How about I do this? Maybe?
Thanks,
Oh.
guys.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good day. Good night.
And we're back.
Wow, what a great video! That was definitely worth it. I'm so glad that we got him on. I'm happy that I waited to answer to ask my question till the end. Hopefully we get him back on here soon. So
Well, he was open to it. I mean,
yeah, so we can get some more, some more information. The guy has a lot of really great information, and his personality is worth it. Dude is like
I forgot to mention to our guests, we temporarily got banned on OK.ru when he got on, and then I had to send some emails and we got it back.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. Like they have tried
Getting banned every day from some social media site, I mean, I'm kind of like sad that I didn't get to ask him the last question that I wanted to ask, which was how do you uninstall the bloatware that is McAfee antivirus? Because I think that would have been like epic. But
possible, man. You know how that is the thing. People act like the Terminators weren't real, but I'm pretty sure that McAfee antivirus is Skynet. It has taken over every computer that it's ever touched. Entire networks. I'm pretty sure McAfee is Skynet.
The thing is, though, it's like it really is impossible to uninstall. And like if you listen to John's interviews about that, then that'll become very apparent.
You've never owned a computer. I mean, it's impossible to get it self-replicates or self-installs. I don't know, because there's computers where I know I did not install it at all. And 3 months into using it, an update comes through and you have it. It's there.
Well,
what's weird? We're still live, but now that McAfee left, we got double the viewers. I don't think that's natural. I think that's like you're blocked while he was on or something.
Yeah, I have a sneaking. Yeah, that's weird. I mean,
yeah, it happened while we went on. Yeah, it happened. It happened 3 or 4 minutes after broadcast. I guess they saw John McAfee, and then we went.
Regions.
Yeah.
They've been doing that a lot recently, where when we're, our numbers will go way up and way down at a certain moment when we quit talking about something, when we've moved on to another topic, and we're allowed to talk about it in that region.
Yeah. You want to do a test there?
The control recently.
Let's start talking about Epstein and what recently just happened.
You guys reading the chat?
Yeah, it turns out he didn't commit suicide under suicide watch.
According to Michael Baden, yeah.
Well, according to the other coroner. Now, the original coroner looked at him one time for 15 minutes and said, "Yeah, he definitely killed himself." And the more important thing is that, so what? So he killed himself. Are his phone records dead? Are his email lists dead? You know what I mean? Like his house, his mansions, right? The tax records, where his money comes from, who he had contact with, who he was flying with. Are all of those things dead because he committed suicide? No. So I mean, that's my question. So who gives a fuck that Epstein's dead? The things that we wanted to get a hold of, right? Start going through that black book. I've got a copy of the fucking black book.
Well,
right?
I posted it unredacted on Twitter. When somebody can here, have this, I was just like, okay.
Yep.
Hey guys, I made an announcement in the side chat, but you can see what's going on right here.
Yeah,
we have about an hour left.
Yeah, about an hour. Yeah.
Go down the list and see, all of the people that you could continue to go down. Arguably one of the largest and most profitable fucking child smuggling operations on the planet. I feel like you could look into this a lot more than you are. None of the things. The sad part is Anonymous is looking more into what happened with Epstein than our government is.
Well, he was 100%. It's looking. I guess they reinvestigated all this stuff. It's looking more like he He was killed, and I've been saying it.
There was a picture that was leaked about the bone fractures, and it just shows that he didn't do that damage to his own neck by trying to hang himself.
It just be like it's crazy difficult to do in prison. Like it's just
Right.
On top of like his size.
Well, it's not only that you're in what we call like a 6x8. So, and it's only the roofs they're generally not too high. The bunks are typically 6 or 7 feet high, and you're not going to be able to snap your neck from jumping from that high. I mean, you could if you face planted, like if you did it like right, like like hit a sweet spot, but you're generally not. You're gonna have trouble. You're gonna have a lot. You're definitely gonna have to go through some suffering before you kill yourself.
Yeah, at what point does it become unbelievably impossible, right? So you could have happened to break your neck in that right spot on a chair that's too small that makes it so that you happen to fall the right way. You also happen to get the right kind of sheets so that they didn't
Right.
tear.
Yeah. It's too many.
I saw one guy. When I was in there. He killed himself. He fucking.
Like how many? The recording device happened to not work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it becomes impossible for this to have happened. That
Wait, you're forgetting that the guards weren't really prison guards and they were just substitutes. Like, this whole situation.
The thing is, I think he was in a supermax. I think he was in a supermax too. So they have video cameras in the cells.
Right, and then they said they weren't working.
That's bullshit.
They weren't. I mean, come on, guys. Of course they weren't working.
Yeah, they weren't working the whole day, right?
At a certain point, it does become a comedy, right? When they come in and they say, "Oh, Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide." Yeah, fucking sure he did, right? Oh, the cameras just didn't work. Yeah, sure they didn't. The guards just happened to be taking a fucking 45-minute smoke break. Sure they did, man. Sure they did.
Well, they were actually sleeping, if we're going to be factually accurate. They were actually sleeping on the job, and they were substitutes that weren't even real guards.
Okay, first of all, a broken neck is not a death sentence, right? And you were sleeping hard enough directly outside this dude's fucking room to not hear a 6'4", 260 pound man hit the bottom of a fucking floor in a prison? I don't believe you.
Well, he might not because they're made out of cement. But what I'm saying is that like you got to really fucking try hard to fucking kill yourself.
Listen to this. I was in boot camp, right? And it was maybe 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Now, remember, this is in the middle of the hardest training in your life, right? When you fell asleep in boot camp, you fucking slept, right? Now, there was a guy that was sleeping on the second bunk, right? The top fucking bunk that rolled off in the middle of his sleep, right? And it woke me and the entire dorm out of a dead fucking sleep. The sound of 200 fucking pounds hitting the ground, right? But yet this guy went to go and take a wee little fucking nap and did not hear that. Again, a broken neck. People survive broken necks all the fucking time.
Yeah, that's right. That's a big key point there.
Like when you're seeing, again, they built this whole story where you're visualizing a broken neck where in like the movies where somebody comes up and, right, moves their elbow and it breaks your neck, right? Like there's some fucking James Bond flick, right? That is not reality. And people live with broken bones constantly. Wrestlers, football players break their bones, break their backs all the time, right? You know what I mean? For an extended period of time. After, like I said, it's too many happenstances. It's just fucking stupid. Y'all killed him because he was at the top of a fucking child molesting ring that marked some of the most powerful people on the fucking planet. That's why he's dead.
Yeah, it's 1 + 1 = 2, not some random character.
The funny thing is that Mark Epstein or Jeffrey Epstein's brother actually says that he believes that he was killed too. And he says that if he was killed, he says other people are in danger of being murdered. So I think Mark Epstein knows way more information than he's letting off.
But you don't have to be a rocket scientist. The Clintons are up to what, like 75 cold bodies at this point?
Cold bottles?
No. It's actually more than that, man. Like When Hillary was running during the 2016 election, I literally went through all of those, digging up their obituaries and everything. So I mean, it's like it's up to at least 85 or more. But yeah, it's so ridiculous, and you know, it doesn't have to be the Clintons, but I mean, they have 85 fucking bodies and no investigation. Like, they are literally the serial killer couple of our generation that has not had anything fucking happen to them.
Well, I mean, some of it I do think is a corrupt system. So they work like the mafia in that they don't know about every hit. People make things happen on your behalf, right? So
yeah, that's true.
It's a lot of it too, where they're just, because you're rich and you're powerful and you're in that circle where you all rape little children, right? When something bad like this comes your way, they take care of it. That's part of the good old boys club. And they're definitely part of that club. But I mean, at a certain point, you know, 85, 75, 50, 30, I mean, how many is too many is my question here.
Well, I mean, even Stratfor, like in WikiLeaks emails, even Stratfor said, I thought that Vince, there was an email where it was like, I thought the Clintons only killed Vince Foster, and then the person responds, "No, they killed that Polish, the Poland president and all his staff and everything." That's what they're talking about, the crash. So I mean, like, everybody knows that this goes on. It's just not investigated by anybody. And the former FBI assistant director. I think his name is James or John Kallstrom. He says that the Clintons are a mafia family. Like, he said this directly, outright.
Oh, definitely a criminal organization. Look at, you know, the same way as anything else, right? When you're fucking with the mafia money, you die, right? When you start fucking with their profits, you die. Look at Gaddafi. And then look at Clinton's reaction, right, to just watching a video of a man being murdered, mutilated and drugged through the street. Right? She is happy about it. You just saw a person murdered and mutilated, and you got a smile on your face. If that doesn't
that's very psychopathic.
I don't know
James Kallstrom, by the way. Clintons are a crime family. This is the quote. And this is an ex-FBI official, saying this outright. It's like he's the former assistant FBI director saying that the Clintons are a crime family. Can we please fucking do something? Like, you have a former FBI director saying this.
Well, I mean, at a certain point, like, at this very moment, there is no reasons to take any shit from the Clintons, right? They're not in office. They hold no elected positions. They're nobodies.
Well, I mean, Chelsea's trying to run for office, and it's like... It's like you're trying to run for office with your mother and father's baggage on you. It's like it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's sad that that your family's like corruption fucked up your name in a couple of generations. You can probably get away with it again. A lot of mafia families have the same problem. You know, it was hard for some of the Gotti kids to get stuff done in life because of their family's connections to crime. You know, the crime syndicates. But a couple generations down the line. A lot of that has gone away. The Clintons, something similar will probably happen. But at the right moment, I mean, at this very moment, nothing's changed. They're still as corrupt, as dirty, as power hungry, as lying, as backstabbing. Like, nothing has changed.
Right. I think, and I mean, the thing about Epstein, I just wanted to put this out there. I personally think Epstein was not only involved in child trafficking, but I think that he was involved in child pornography films because he recorded all of this stuff. I don't think that all of the recordings was for blackmail purposes, put it that way. So I think Epstein was involved with big kingpins in the child pornography industry. And I mean, anybody could have killed this guy, but he was fucking definitely killed. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's not anybody. The same group of people. You know, when you expose, right, the royal family as being involved with child, with pedophile rings, right, you die. That's what happens to people that speak out about that. This is not new.
The other thing to point out too is that Epstein was ready to talk. His lawyers said that he was ready to talk prior to killing himself. So it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. The week before
the story
week
had.
before that he killed himself, he said that his cellmate tried to strangle him. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on here. And honestly, like, you know, child predators in prison, they don't do well, right? You know, they get attacked and they do get killed. It does happen.
That's why you would take the extra bit of time to make sure that bad shit doesn't happen to
Right. Yeah.
You know, as far as information is concerned, one of the most important criminals that we had in the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
Look at what he was involved in, the amount, you know, there's no reason that this should have happened in any way, shape, or form. And then you're putting it all on like one, you know, underpaid cop that made all of this happen. Look, there were people all the way up the fucking line for this to get checked off before you've got nobody looking at you as Jeff Epstein. Right? Like, honestly, like all the way up the line, you got to sign off on your scheduling. You know what I mean? There's so much that had to have happened for real.
I agree. I agree. But I'm just saying, I'm just being the devil's advocate here, saying, you know, like anything could have fucking happened. But what's more likely to have happened to somebody who's under investigation for all that stuff, you know, and just all of the coincidences surrounding his death, you know, it just points to he was murdered and it's a cover-up. It's just, you can't say that all of those coincidences come together without a catalyst.
Well, and you look at you know, sometimes it's better to take a step back and look at the reaction to law enforcement, to the news media, to his, you know, to his murder, right? You've got immediately a couple of stories about it being murdered. Everybody knows it's bullshit. And then complete and utter silence across the board, right to left, complete and utter silence. The same with, it would be different if you said, hey, he committed suicide, but look, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find out where these motherfuckers are, what they're doing, the entire works. I swear to you, like rabid fucking pit bulls. But no, as soon as that happens, they shut all books. You know what I mean? Everything is shut down and walk away from it. And that in itself, I think, shows more of it being dirty than the suicide itself. If he committed suicide and you're like, it doesn't matter, just like I said, right? We'll get to the bottom of this. You know what I mean? When you look at the power, right, that you're dealing with, the CIA, the FBI, you know what I mean? When you look at those kind of agencies, when you really can find out if there's fucking aliens, let alone whether this son of a bitch was murdered, right? But we're not going to look into it at all. He committed suicide. And that's the part of the story I don't believe. I think that makes them look more dirty than anything else.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely, it's absolutely insane that the mainstream press is not going after this story. Like somebody in the fucking mainstream press, come on, do your job. Like,
look how long Weinstein operated like with impunity out in the fucking open, and others like him.
Yeah, and there's still people, and I know some names in Hollywood that are still openly doing shit, and they're not doing it as much anymore in public. But there are some people that are still doing things like Weinstein.
Oh, I bet it's not even slowing down. I doubt it's even slowing down all that much, to be honest with you.
It's embedded in the culture. That's what it is. It's embedded in the culture, and that's the way that they feel things should be. It's not, but that's how they think.
Yeah, that's how the rich and powerful operate. The same with with Epstein. The deal is, the reason that I'm on this like so much about them to continue the investigation is because you do realize that just because he died, the actual ring didn't stop moving. Those people are still being smuggled, raped, tortured, all of that. That didn't end with Epstein, right? That is the deal with it being a ring. There are other people involved. Just because he was in jail doesn't mean that it shuts down and stops working, right? That's like saying, oh, we arrested one kingpin, one drug kingpin, so we're just going to stop looking into drugs altogether.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to look at the infrastructure, and we're not going to look at who was involved. We're not going to look at anything. Since the kingpin died, it's over, right? And that's not how we do any investigation.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely true. But there's laws against investigating somebody who's fucking dead. when it comes to
have to investigate Epstein, right? To investigate the people that were related to him.
That's right. Yeah. But the thing is, with the death of Epstein, and I've been told that with the death of Epstein, they can't use the evidence that they collected in the case. So the case, like, it's just those legal fucking
dime bags on the edge of my street, right? They show up with 8 fucking cars, violate every civil right that there's known to fucking man, beat the fucking hell out of them, and possibly murder them. But then when it comes to these assholes, right, then there is just nothing that they can fucking do. And I don't believe that. Treat him like he's got a fucking dime bag, right? Instead of treating him like he's got fucking children that they're molesting, right? Send some of those rabid fucking assholes after him. How come you can only use those jackasses on us?
Yeah. It's true. It's very true when it comes to a separation of, judicial behavior towards citizens that are poor and the citizens that are rich. The citizens that are rich and that can fucking afford hundreds of lawyers, they don't have to deal with the other shit that we have to deal with.
All together, right?
Even if they're fucking raping children. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Send mercenaries after them. Right? They hired Tiger Swan to follow us around, to fucking, to violate our rights, to beat us, right? To be violent, right? Every sick, dirty trick you could possibly imagine, right? For an oil company. Send some of those motherfuckers after them.
Yeah.
You ain't got money?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Right? Like I said, you guys they will scoot past all the fucking laws. You don't have to fucking have a license to operate a mercenary organization in North Dakota, right? That's what they told you. You do, but they don't give a fuck. But if you're molesting children, there ain't shit that they can do. Sorry guys, hands were tied. If you're talking to a lawyer.
Well, Epstein was tied. Epstein's tied into DynCorp through his helicopter. The helicopter tag is tied into DynCorp. They both share the same license. So, it's not a surprise. DynCorp was involved in child trafficking multiple fucking times. They don't shut down fucking DynCorp. DynCorp should be completely investigated, number one. All of the money should be treated as if it's fraudulent and that it's money laundering from either child trafficking or drug running. And then on top of that, again, DynCorp should not exist. They've trafficked children for years with fucking DynCorp all across the fucking Middle East.
If I get pulled over in my car and I've got money in my pocket and they think that is drug money, right? They don't ask me nicely and then see if they find out later. They take my money, they hold on to it until they find out whether it's drug money or not. But with child trafficking, with people trafficking, right? You can have millions and millions in a fucking helicopter, right? And they won't hold on to it to find out. Like if you thought it was money used from child trafficking, hold on to it till you find out, right? Like they do with us.
Yeah, right.
This totally separate justice system for the rich and powerful. I am so fucking sick of.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier was the separate judicial system for the rich and poor.
But this is what you also saw with the Weinstein, like with the Weinstein guy, that it only stopped when everyone went at him at once. It was. Yeah, they're afraid to do it separately.
And it wasn't from the inside. It took the internet's Me Too movement, right? It took Twitter's Me Too movement to move that forward, right? Otherwise, a journalist talked about it, it got shut down. At the exact moment that it went viral with the Me Too movement, it was actively being gaslit on those same news channels on how it's not true.
I think Ronan Farrow showed that Weinstein was trying to co-opt the media.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could see it happening right in front of you, where at the same moment as you hear the stories and the persons that it happened to coming out and speaking about it, that you have those same news organizations, right, coming out and trying to deny all of it. And the thing that gets me, right, is that they knew that they were lying, right? When Anderson Cooper and all of those assholes came out and talked, right, they knew that they were lying about Weinstein.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing is it that these people, they have the money to pay PR firms to cover their ass. And the thing is that the moral thing is that the PR firms don't give a fuck if it's true or not. They just care about getting paid.
Oh no, something shitty happens, and then these groups come in that are spin doctors and all of that, and their job is to shine that turd any way that they can, and they make bank off of it. That's why you'll have have a politician come out and say the stupidest shit you can possibly imagine, and then they'll try to come back and have like a whole spin campaign involved with it. There's a lot of money that gets made in being able to, because these guys are just a nonstop fuck up, right? But there's a lot of advertising firms that work specifically on PR firms that work specifically on dealing with bad publicity.
Right. Yeah. And that's the problem. It's a moral issue of, if you're working for these firms, if you're just trying to fucking get paid and cover up shit like that, it's really fucked up. Like,
I mean, there's a certain like group of people that don't care. Those are the lawyers. Yeah, they'll take money over fucking anything. Those are like the lawyers that'll represent your Bill Cosbys of the world. There's no reason Bill Cosby should have been able to find a lawyer. There we are. But there are, a certain group of people that will do dirty deeds for huge amounts of money. That's why I just stopped. I was like, it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. Are we going to do a whole show tonight, or are we gonna try to stretch this one out to 4 hours? How do you guys want to play this today? I know we didn't really discuss it because we didn't know how long the interview was gonna go.
I think that Tyler has to go in a bit, so I think we have to end the show.
I don't know. We can do a show at regular times. It doesn't matter so much. I can stream for you guys.
I just want to make sure to get out as much as I possibly can before the 5th. We've got so many more events that are going on worldwide. I kind of want to at least, maybe if we only do an hour, hour and a half show.
No, that's a good idea. We should do like a little shorter show. We can do like show at the regular times if you guys are up for it. Yeah, that's if we're doing regular time tonight, that's fine. We could just do a short show on the protests that have been going on all around the world. Oh my God, man, there's been so many now. Then the marches that are going to be happening next week.
We've had some big victories, so I'll definitely be happy to come on and talk a little bit about it. I'm just stoked that we got John on. That was awesome.
Yeah, he was actually calling us. He actually said there was a chance we were sincere.
Yeah, I think there's more than a chance. More than a chance, right? I think he kind of lowballed us with the 3%, but I like his style. So, right, I'd give us at least 20%. But I think anybody that looks into to any of the hosts that are on the show will quickly find the difference between like your plastic cookie cutter fucking activists and non-members and those of us that are the real deal. And I think it becomes super clear like who the real deal is. And I think
I know all of us work like day and night for these things, and so that's the thing that at least anyone can see, that we're like working very hard to get a message across.
Well, I think it's a collective message. That's the thing. Nobody here is that big of a narcissist where it's all about, just all about you, like it's a collective message that we share and put across. Like we're always constantly fighting for others' rights. It's not like we're propping ourselves up.
Yeah, and I think it's something that would be different too. The way that when you said it that way, it did make way more sense. Is that when we get on here, we never fight for our rights. We're always trying to fight for somebody else's rights. And that's so different than what you see in the normal mainstream environment. Everybody's out there fighting for themselves and for their brand and their logo and all of this bullshit. And very few are out there to get the word out, which is all that we're in it for. You know, we all have our different issues and things that we care about and all of that. That's not what I'm saying, but it's trying to get out the truth, which is our number one goal. That has very little to do with us and ego. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I hope that John up that 3% to, you know, around like 25%, maybe 75% after the end of the interview.
Give him some time. Give him some time. Give him some time. Everybody, yeah, I mean, it's just, and there's people, you know, we sometimes get stuck in our bubble where, you know, everybody kind of knows who we are and what we're about. So, I mean, it's good to get outside of your bubble as well. And people, you know, do get to learn something about you, see where you've came from. You know, we all have to, you know, sometimes get out of that, especially if, you know, in ours where you are all, you know, kind of fighting for the same thing. We have to make a point to get side of our, you know, general circle, our bubble. I think John's part of that. I'm surprised that he hasn't like came on to any other Anon shows like ever. He doesn't.
Well, I mean, because there's only a few, dude. Like, there's ours. There's they got Cyber Gorilla. Then there's the ones on Facebook, which are kind of like I hate to say it, they're kind of jokes. I mean, the one our competitor, he can't stay sober for the light of days, so. Cyber Gorilla would be up there along with us. So I mean, it was only like 2 serious like shows, you know.
Well, and I don't think
we do have a time slot at Cyber Gorilla too. I mean,
yeah,
we would be part of the same show, I guess.
Yeah, because Cyber Gorilla does serious work, and so do we. But the other ones that are out there, they're not serious. You know what I mean? Like would you remember what's the guy's name? Fucking. He called himself Cypher. He was drunk. That's what I can't remember his name. What you know, Toothless McGee. What the fuck is his name?
Yeah, okay, maybe keep it on Cypher. I don't know.
Yeah. We start running the.
Yeah, he was so. Here's how not serious the show is. The guy once drank himself into an alcoholic coma. Went live stream on his show for the non-show and passed out in front of the camera for hours.
And we were throwing like emojis.
We even tried calling him because we were scared for his safety.
Now, when you saw the amount that he drank, there's been a couple. I'm not like
what?
Yeah, this seriously happened. Just like the time I got robbed on the air. Yeah.
I'm not drunk on camera, really. So like once the drinking like starts, I want to be up and dancing and doing my own thing. So. Yeah, it's just nothing like it seems like a lot of these shows for a while there like had to have it. Like they had to have a show or an episode of them getting all fucked up. And yeah, whatever. I'm not real into it.
Yeah, I mean that's something that everybody fucking does. I mean, you can kind of be outside the norm and do your own thing. Like, be unique.
Do weird stuff at ABB. I mean, like the whole robbing on air was weird.
Yeah, I got robbed. I got robbed at gunpoint when I was on the air. And I was like talking to everybody and everybody fucking heard it too.
Remember like we had like Lori Love on the show and he had to like, call with us and they had to be like super quiet because people would wake up and stuff. There's like, kind of, like weird interviews with that.
I used to do all my interviews from my car remotely.
We've been.
I bet that stopped the day you got robbed.
No, that's actually how that's actually true.
Yeah. I said, I bet that stopped the day after you got robbed.
I didn't think about it that way. I was like, wait, I'm saying stuff. Wait, I'm wrong.
We're probably one of the only shows that have both
one time we had that.
Done shows on the tallest in the world and like
talking, but I can't hear him.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Uh-oh. Well, and this is our first time using this app too, so I'm not really sure how long
I think people are just talking over you, Mark.
Let me mute myself.
Mark, can you hear me? Can you? Mark, your audio went out. Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
I cannot.
It was maybe on my end or something. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Good. Yeah, we
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you
me
now.
too?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
You were just like
All right.
gone.
Yeah,
you were like ghost.
Let's
Yeah.
let's shut this one down for the for the episode, and then we will be back at our normal 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock showing, depending on where you're at in the world. But we'll have our normal show tonight. It'll just be
I don't know. I can't stream tonight though. That's the thing.
Well, I can do it, but you can come on air. I mean.
Yeah, I'd have to come on. I'd have to come on briefly, but I have some errands I need to handle today. But yeah, John, if you could stream that, that'd be awesome. Okay.
Well, and I will be here, brothers and sisters. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
All right, let me roll it with the credits.
Wait.
I hereby declare this to be an
Hold
unlawful
on.
assembly.
Let me go back.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.
How did our we still on?
I order all those assembled to immediately